Researching Ophelia Turner's story feels like poking around the edges of a void. When I look directly at my subject, nothing appears to be there. But as I tease around the edges, a shape begins to emerge in the null space. It is with great journalistic integrity that I began to define those edges. But even then, it's tempting to fill in the spaces with good old-fashioned imagination. But hey, I knew what I was signing up for when I decided to unearth a decades-old mystery. Welcome back. This is episode 4 of Frequency File. In lieu of no one having a personal account of Ophelia Turner, we turn to more facts in the periphery. In this episode, I dig into ARDA, the government agency behind the research and development of limb technology, as well as the scant facts of limb technology itself. Bear with me as we depart the shores of known, connected facts and slingshot from one theory to another. By now, you're probably starting to gather what the problem was with the very concept of limb technology. The rumors about limb were healthy and far-reaching, that it could solve world hunger and overpopulation, that it had alchemical powers to convert matter from one form to another, or would finally plug the technological gap needed to realize the long-dreamed-of perpetual energy machines. Even for the scientifically disinclined like myself, it's easy to conclude that no one technology could fulfill all of mankind's wildest fantasies. And yet, here was limb technology, promising all those things in one swoop. And remember, any and all actual scientific detail about limb technology was kept absolutely airtight. Every schematic, lab note, and mathematical proof that was allegedly smuggled out of the zone or recreated from memory was dissected by experts around the world. All were found to be well outside the realm of reality. And those scattered claims of rogue limb technology out in the world, they were all red herrings, nothing proven. So, what do all those rumors about limb technology leave us with? The most popular theory by far was that limb technology never existed. An elaborate yarn spun by opportunists to siphon government funds into their pockets. The demonstration from Dr. Ophelia Turner and President Koch was well within the ability of an amateur magician. And once again, Dr. Turner's lack of accomplishments in her academic career paint an easy portrait of a scientist eager for a win. That would slot Dr. Turner firmly in the myth camp. We may never be able to agree on what limb was, or if it even existed, but we can certainly understand why its existence was necessary. The state of the world that existed needed to believe in something so fantastical. Here's my submission to the ever-growing theory pile. It is no coincidence that the year the zone was established was 1955. That year also marked the start of the space race. For that next decade, there is no hotter topic, no singular focus of effort and funding than beating the Soviets. With Sputnik's launch in 1957, followed by Gagarin's first brush with space in 1961, America fell behind with every passing year. Its desperation only increased with the very public explosion of Project Vanguard, America's first satellite launch attempt. And then, to go from not being able to get off the launch pad to 6 years later being the first to land a man on the moon, that is a whole lot of technological progress to make from a losing position. The timing of limb technology couldn't have been more perfect. The government springs into action, promoting limb while being simultaneously effusive and evasive, an American political specialty. The live demonstrations are few, the vagaries plenty, but there is a notable wave of professors vacating their spots at major universities to take on positions at ARDA. Some interesting fields of study from the bunch: experts in crop domestication, enclosed biological ecosystems, and radiobiology. What sounds like a child's tale begins to take on a shape that fits cleanly with the race to the stars. I will reiterate here, this is only my theory, but I dare say it's a good one. The problem we've come to understand is that something went so horribly wrong inside the zone's borders and caused all of it, limb, disasters, and the rest, to be hermetically sealed off forever. As dubious as the fuzzy photos and inconsistent stories were, they add up to one thing. What was going on in the zone wasn't normal. For as tall as Arda built those walls, they couldn't hide oddly colored auroras in the sky, or ice storms in the summer, or localized hurricane force winds compacted into tight columns. There were two words that popped up time and time again within these eyewitness stories: instability and anomalies. I've been able to distill a few things about them, that they were two of the many, many unfortunate byproducts of the R&D going on in the zone. The government was forced to admit to elevated levels of radiation. Pretty hard to cover that one up, as it became a tourist attraction to hike along the walls with a Geiger counter. But this instability seemed to be some combination of ecological and physical fallout. Some described it as a state of constant landslides. Others recounted storms unlike anything seen on planet Earth. As far as what the anomalies were, I couldn't tell you. I ran face first into two distinct responses to that question. Either people refused to say a single word about them, or people had too many conflicting explanations to find a single thread of commonality. Perhaps that's a topic for a series all on its own. Roblox at every turn with this story.